Hey there, Eugene. Hey, friends and family. This is Vince Casey, your friend in real estate, giving you a brief market update for the week of 6/30/2020. It looks like we're almost into July for 2020. So I know a lot of you out there have some big concerns about the spike in COVID cases, and I definitely like to encourage everyone to wear their masks if you have an opportunity to. Even if you're not getting in touch with anybody that is, I guess, considered high risk, I think that at this point it just seems like it's a best practice to keep everyone safe. So I hope everybody out there is staying healthy and everyone's happy and doing okay. This week didn't really get us anywhere different than last week. I believe last week we had about 101 listings go active in Lane County, and this week we had 106, and then last week we had 154 go pending. This week we had 146. So we stayed pretty much in the same ballpark as we were last week. And another thing that stayed in the same ballpark was the APR rates, which that's great news. I was afraid that it might keep kind of climbing upwards as the weeks go on, which it still could. But I believe it took a brief pause. We're still at 3.44, just because of the uncertainty that kind of came back. Probably about 25% of the population has that Chicken Little mentality, and anytime something goes wrong, they'll just pull back until there's that absolute certainty that everything's going to be okay, and then they choose to move ahead, which more power to them. That's absolutely their choice to make. So my experience is even though the market is down, it hasn't necessarily started to affect pricing. We're still appreciating at basically the same rate we were last year. So if you're worried about waiting out to see if prices are going to go down, I don't foresee that happening. We might push back that busy seller's market that I was predicting in late July and early August into the fall. I'm not really sure. It really depends on when that kind of concrete certainty comes back and we can get some more of those buyers into the fold that are kind of just sitting on their feet right now. So anyways, some other things to talk about. I know I kind of want to clarify whenever I bring up the Lane County market, I'm giving you the market as a whole. So I'm not necessarily speaking to individual markets like Cottage Grove is kind of a different market than what you would see in Springfield. Believe it or not, Cottage Grove is kind of on the rise. Some of the outlying areas tend to mirror the bigger areas a year or two behind. So Cottage Grove is actually doing quite well right now. I would like to also specify that price point is definitely a different market. So if you get into the 250 to 350 range when you're buying a house, just to give you an example, 60 houses went active for the last month in the 250 to 350 range, and 214 went pending. So we're still very much a seller's market when you look at the 250 to 350 range. A lot of that is because millennials are actually, their buying power is increasing. They're outnumbering the baby boomers for the first time in a while. They're starting to get better jobs and have families, and they're saving up and buying their first homes. So there's a ton of competition for those first-time home buyers. Unfortunately, it could give somebody buyer's fatigue if they're not ready for it. But if you are, you can go in with your best foot forward and just hope for the best and get somebody that's a good negotiator for you. Another market would be like, our market really starts to soften at the 550 point. If you go 550 to 1 million for last month, we had 57 listings go active and 57 go pending. So it's completely balanced. So if anybody's shopping in that range, you have a little bit more buying power, a little bit more negotiation power than say you would if you were in that lower category. Fixer markets. If you're an investor, if you have HGTV dreams and you want to go out there and pick out a home to buy and try to fix it up and resell it to make a profit, you are definitely in for a hunt. There are quite a few remodelers out there. There are quite a few folks that kind of have that idea and that same vision and that same dream. Unfortunately, whenever you buy cash deals and you don't have cash in the bank, you have to go for a private money loan. And the interest rates on those are much higher. You're going to look at probably anywhere from 10 to 12%. So once you end up paying them back that 10 to 12%, your profit margins really get eaten up a lot more than you would think once you add on cost of repairs, realtor fees, and that whole bit. So a lot of these folks are going after these fixers and bidding the price so high that the only person that's really going to make a profit is a true cash buyer that has cash in the bank and isn't paying for these private money loans. So if you have the idea and the dream of remodeling a house, don't give up on it. Just talk to a lender, talk to a real estate agent that has experience in that area, and make sure that all your ducks are in a row before you submit that final offer. All right? Well, thank you so much. I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great week. Everybody take care and stay safe. Bye-bye.